So we're here at Busch Gardens for Halloween. Howl-O-Scream.
Howl-O-Scream.
And we just saw a goblin walk by.
Yes.
And he looked so menacing. Everybody ran. And he posed for a picture.
Yes. But what people don't realize, it was my brother.
Your brother. So that's your mom and dad.
Yes. Mom and dad, we have a brother.
Has the family genes too.
Yes. The bald one. Oh no, that would be the preacher.
Shut up. So we went to Busch Gardens. Now every year in the fall, right after I guess summer ends, they do this thing called Howl-O-Scream. And Howl-O-Scream is an annual event where they decorate the entire park to resemble, like, you know, a graveyard, just a really creepy place to be in. They have ghosts hanging from the ceilings up on these strings above portions of the park. It's spiders that will actually fall over your head. They've got people dressed up as vampires, zombies, werewolves, just ghouls and ghosts and you name it. I mean, it's really cool. But they actually have them hidden all around the park, and you can be walking, you know, past a trash can, and boom, you are scared, crapless, by somebody wanting to scare you, dressed up as, you know, some kind of Halloween fiend. We're at Busch Gardens. How do you feel? Same as always. We went there because, you know, naturally we wanted to experience it because we've heard so many things about it. It's advertised constantly on TV around here. And then my eldest stepdaughter came in from college to visit us for a week, so we decided to take her over there too, considering we bought her a season pass, and we figured she ought to get some use out of it. Next year you're buying your own. Anyway, we got there, and you know, naturally the crowds are crazy. In fact, the crowds were so crazy on this day that we went there that they closed the park to anybody else coming in to the park after a certain time, because we, by the time we actually got to the part where, you know, we check in with our tickets, they said, you know, the park has almost reached capacity, you know, we might have to turn you away for tonight. So we were one of the lucky ones that day. So we got in, and our first thing we did was go to this theater where they were going to put on a kind of like a Halloween musical. And we weren't sure about it because we knew it was going to be a bit of a wait. It said about a 45-minute to an hour wait. And we heard people talking about it, you know, asking questions about it, and they said, you know, this is actually worth the wait, even though the show's about 20 minutes, maybe 30 minutes long. Definitely wait. So we decided to wait, and we had to wait. The line started at the very end of the theater, behind the theater, in fact, and we sat there on this cold concrete. So we've been sitting in line for a half hour now, and the only thing that's been exciting is the fact that everybody's walking in and out like crazy. There's nowhere to go. In fact, it's so crazy. Check this out. But this is not the show. The show is actually in the theater behind us, and we've got another 45 minutes before the show starts. And all that.
And all that.
All that.
All that.
Suddenly we saw this guy dressed up as, like, I guess a goblin.
Hello.
And Patty got a picture of him. But yeah, he was just kind of a taste of what some of the people dress up as. And he doesn't look very scary, you know, just seeing him. But at nighttime, you know, when you're constantly looking at people in the dark, you know the darkness distorts people's views of people. To see this person right behind you when you don't know it, it kind of freaks you out a little bit. So we got into the theater finally, and we didn't know exactly what to expect, but just the interior of it looked really cool. Usually the theater is used for the Celtic dancing, which if you haven't seen already, you need to definitely check it out. They do a fantastic job. They work a lot They work very hard, rather, and it's definitely worth the time, no matter how long you have to wait. After we got out of the theater, it was kind of dark, and so that's when the fog machines came on, the neon lights and the dark lights and the red lights and the blue lights were shining all over the park. And they have completely decorated it into a haunted house. And each haunted house has a different level of scariness. So they in fact warn you, you know, if you have small children, this might not be the best place to go. So we went to everyone, and it was remarkably done. The one at the behind Fest House, which was pretty darn busy, was probably my favorite. There are two levels of haunted houses there, and you go from one haunted house to the next, and then after the second one, you have to walk through their cornfield, and it's a haunted cornfield, of course, and they've got it elaborately decorated there, and people are, you know, walking out of the fog. You've got werewolves chasing after you. You've got people, you know, dead people just hanging out like along haystacks or whatever, or corn stalks rather. And as you walk by them, they just come to life and just scare the crap out of you. You know, and you know that this is all shtick. You know that everybody's just acting here. You see a guy that's got his face just like ripped to shreds, and he's, you know, got fake paint blood all over his body, and he just keeps walking over to you, or keeps following you rather, and he just stares at you, or he's grunting at you the entire time. It's kind of really eerie. I mean, they got the music blasting, you can't see where you're going. Yeah, it's definitely awesome. I would totally recommend it. We went. I think we were there 3 times this year, just for that event. And our next venture possibly is going to be the Christmas thing that they do, which I can't remember what they call it right now. So yeah, happy Halloween.